Welcome to Random Thoughts. Rayshawn Blyden here. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. JD Vance is calling on President Biden to resign from his presidency immediately. JD Vance, the Republicans call on Biden to resign from presidency immediately. The Ohio senator claimed that if the president isn't fit to campaign, he shouldn't be trusted to remain in the White House. In a message sent Sunday, hours before Biden said he was suspending his election campaign. Not running for re-election would be a clear admission that President Trump was right all along about Biden not being mentally fit enough to serve as commander-in-chief, Vance wrote on X. There's no middle ground, he continued. Biden sent shockwaves through the political universe Sunday afternoon, caving to massive pressure to quit his campaign. House Speaker Mike Johnson also immediately called on Biden to resign. If Joe is not fit to run for president, he's not fit to serve as president. He must resign the office immediately. November 5th cannot arrive soon enough, Johnson said. Representative Elise Stefanik said the number 3 Republican in the House also piled on, says the Democrat Party is in absolute free fall for their blatantly corrupt and desperate attempt to cover up the fact that Joe Biden is unfit for office, Stefanik posted on X. Then resign your office if you can't run a mere political campaign. You can't be president, Senator Josh Hawley added. Being president is the hardest job in the world, and I no longer have confidence that Joe Biden can effectively execute his duties as commander-in-chief. That aside, he never was doing it. It's the shadow government that's been doing it for him and just parading him out there. But I digress. Joe cannot effectively execute his duties as commander-in-chief, Senator Steve Daines wrote. Democrats can't have it both ways. If Joe Biden can't handle a debate or a rally, he can't stand up to Putin now, can he? Or have access to the nuclear code. That one is concerning. Savannah how do you pronounce it? Vire, Deputy Communications Director for the National Republican Congressional Committee, also wrote in a statement Sunday afternoon saying, Biden quitting marks the end of weeks of building pressure from fellow Democrats pushing the president to hand the keys to another. They pretty much forced him out, is what he's saying there. Early Sunday, Senator John McCain had joined 4 of his Senate Democratic colleagues in calling on Biden to step aside and allow a new generation to come forward. Why didn't they? They knew he was cognitively hurting before they paraded him. They convinced him to run for his last term here, but they still forced him there. So why all of a sudden? Well, I've spoken about that already before. It's basically they weren't expecting the polls to be, or Trump to be running away with it in the polls, and so they needed to try to stop the bleeding. But McCain, who left the Democratic Party in May, but still caucuses with them, joins the likes of Senator Peter Welch of Vermont, John Tester of Montana, Martin Henrich of New Mexico, and Sherrod Brown of Ohio in the call. Even one of Biden's most long-standing and visible supporters, Hollywood star George Clooney, called on him to drop out of the race in an op-ed published on July 10th. Upon quitting, Biden immediately endorsed. Well, he didn't immediately do it. His first statement didn't endorse her, but then he endorsed her after. But let's go with this. He immediately endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to take his spot. All right, let's read some of these. Some of the comments here. Adi Murphy says, impeccable logic that he must leave office now. If Biden were a brain surgeon, would we let him continue to conduct surgery for another 6 months under these circumstances? Someone else says, or control the launch codes to nuclear weapons? Someone else says here, our founding fathers, George Washington, served his 2 terms and became a farmer afterward. We have a former president, Obama, now have Biden served his 3rd term and even tried to choose his 4th and 5th terms. I support a new law after January 2025 to purge all Obama influence and allies from the foggy. Well, the Democrats do this. First, it was the Clinton era, and now it's the Obama era, who is in the shadow government, in my opinion. So, what do you think about that, folks? If you're a Democrat, I'm curious to know how you feel that they forced your nominee out. Are you happy with those decisions? Are you going to protest at the DNC? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Random thoughts, politics,